Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you all enjoyed the Mother's Day weekend and found some creative ways to celebrate and to stay as close as possible, given everything that's going on. To the mothers out there, hopefully you enjoyed a great day and were able to feel special and celebrated and appreciated more than just yesterday, but yesterday in particular. No one's here right now, so I'm just going to, as we've done in the past, pull up a shared screen with the workout, go over that verbally, and then zoom out of that, go over the workout in terms of demonstrating it, go through points of performance, things like that, and then we'll upload this right away. As always, when this is, if we don't have a lot of people on, I like to make myself available to you if you need anything, if you're watching this later on. I know sometimes it can help to have people demonstrate, and if you don't see that, it can, there's just maybe not as much information for you to go on. So as always, reach out, send me a message, email, text, call, whatever it may be, whatever's best for you, and we'll go from there. All right, so pulling up the Wodify, here we go. Okay. So we have two parts to this here. The first one is a 20-minute EMOM. That means every minute on the minute. So we're going to start with, in our first minute, we're going to do 3 different movements. We're looking at some sort of power clean. That can be with a single dumbbell, a double dumbbell. That can be with a barbell. That can be with a kettlebell. But we're going to do 4 power cleans, then 6 push-ups, then 9 air squats, all within 1 minute. So we're looking at that taking a majority of the minute, and that's okay. That's kind of by design. So when we're going through that first minute, especially I'm thinking on those air squats, we can move through those quickly, but also we can be really intentional about how we're breathing on those too. And we can kind of start recovering while moving. I think that's a skill, and I say skill intentionally because that can be developed. That idea of recovering while working is something that we don't talk about a whole lot, but is a really, really, really big piece to kind of taking your CrossFit, taking your fitness to that next level. So that's on 1 minute. 4 cleans of some sort, 6 push-ups, and 9 air squats. And then the next minute, you're resting whatever time you have left in that minute. Start of the next minute, you're looking at a small but manageable set of double unders, something that you know you should be able to hit. At most, you are going to stop at 45 seconds. Even if like your goal is that 50, I really want you to stop at 45 seconds. Now, if we're really towards the end and you've been hitting 50 double unders or 50 single unders, whatever it may be, that entire time, and we're at like minute, what would that be? The start of minute 19 or the start of minute 17, really close towards the end. And at 45 seconds, you have like 40 left. Well, I want you to still finish 50. But if it's like one of your first couple of rounds and you're at 20 double unders or so, well, then kind of keep an eye on the clock at 45 seconds early in this workout. Keep an eye on the clock at 45 seconds. Whatever number you're at, try to hit that number each time. So really can personalize that to you. You can do single unders. I'd like us to, I know there's not coaches with you right there, but I'd like us to maybe try doing something a little bit different if we normally just stick with single unders to kind of get us towards double unders. I think some of us really tell ourselves the story that I am a single under type of athlete, right? I've been doing single unders for years. I've tried double unders and I can't do those. And so we just stick with that. Encourage you to start maybe thinking of other stories that might be true. I think we kind of make that story that we tell ourselves true. So let's start branching out and doing something different. Penguin jumps could be that option to simulate the movement of a double under without the rope. That way you can kind of keep that rebound part going. I'll demo that when we get to that point. As far as the weights, if you have if you have a barbell and you're doing power clean, so this part down here, I know that even if you have a barbell, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have all of the weights. So these are some suggested weights. you know, I want you to be able to do 4 every time. They're going to feel hard, but you're not worried about failing them. If you have less weight, and maybe you want to add in a power clean or 2, as long as you can keep moving pretty quickly and with good form, that you kind of get an idea of like the stimulus that we're looking for there. So that's our EMOM. 1 minute we're doing 3 movements, and the next minute we're doing double unders. And then once we're all done with that, we have a second piece, which is going to be 1 time through 4 time. And as it says here, this is really meant to be a sprint, really pushing the tempo. Up here, we kind of went a little longer with 20 minutes, which is kind of starting to get longer. Here, we're looking for this to be as fast as possible. 80 mountain climbers each leg. That's when you're in a push-up position and you're driving, you're not doing a push-up, just in that plank position, and you're driving your knees to your elbows. Just like when we plank, I want to see a straight line between ankles, knees, hips, shoulders. A lot of times when I see mountain climbers, we go ankles, knees, hips get really high, and then shoulders. We get into that pike position. So let's not have that happen today. 80 mountain climbers, 60 sit-ups, and 40 back in that push-up position and just doing shoulder taps. If you have a wall and you want to get up against a wall and do some shoulder taps that way, if you're someone who really enjoys handstand push-ups, I think that's a great option as well. But this plank kind of push-up plank position shoulder tap would be an option if a wall isn't something that you have access to, a wall for handstand push-ups. Okay, kind of went through that fast. Let me stop this shared screen and go over the workout. So give me 1 second. Oops. Okay, so for the power clean, back this up just a little bit. 1 head of the dumbbell, if you have a dumbbell power clean, only 1 head has to be on the ground, and we're really looking at having these dumbbells on the outside. We don't really want to do power from here. So dumbbells on the outside, keeping our back straight the entire time, triple extension, and get underneath that. With dumbbells, I see a lot of here, and then hammer curling. Big fan of the hammer curl, different day. Let's do that as some accessory work for this. Really make sure we're shrugging and getting underneath it. Power position is anything from here, really, to probably about here, where my hips are still above my knees. Finishing that rep standing all the way up. If we have a kettlebell, that's going to look like a very similar thing. Barbell is going to look very similar as well. Then for our push-ups, if you want to make this challenging, make those hand release push-ups. If 6 seems really easy, if you want to maybe put your feet up at an angle so they're more of a deficit. If you have some plates and you want to put your hands up on those plates that have to have your chest go a little bit lower. But really we're looking for a chest to the ground. Those can be from knees or toes. And then on that air squat, I think that was 9 air squats. Just remember, feet right underneath, toes slightly angled out, knees are going out as well and dropping all the way down. I promise I'm not sitting on the couch. And then standing up. So from this position, you should be able to see my knees are staying pretty much right behind my toes. So those are going to be our movements in that first part, right? Power clean, push up, and air squats. And then normal double unders or single unders if you have a rope. Those penguin jumps are going to be a hop and keeping our hands nice and tight, like we say with double unders, keeping our elbows tucked in. So hop and tapping twice when we're in midair. Just like that. So those are our movements for the 20-minute EMOM. And then for the sprint, we have those mountain climbers. So push-up position here, plank position here, and driving as much as possible. What I don't want to see is getting into that bear crawl position. Keep your hips down there. And then sit-ups, normal standard there. Legs can be crossed, legs can be straight out, doesn't matter. Just make sure your shoulders get in front of your hip. Not a rep, not a rep. That's probably a rep right there. And then those shoulder taps would be same position that we were in for those mountain climbers. Same position there. But we are just doing this. Something to keep in mind on those shoulder taps. I want us to not move our hips as much as possible. So when we do that, I don't want us to look like we're on a boat and we're rocking back and forth, right? Not opening up here. Hands underneath shoulders and really trying to minimize that rocking, not opening up that way. So those are all our movements for today. Let me quickly pull up a screen with the warm-up. Have that written now in case it's easier to see that. Let me share that quick. All right, so hopefully we can see that. So our general warm-up, we're looking at, would that be what, 3 to 4 rounds of, looks like 3 rounds of jump rope, and with a different stretch in between. So 30 seconds at a time, we're looking at single unders, double unders. I would save the triple unders and all the fancy stuff for as we go on, just trying to get our blood flowing here. So 30 seconds of jump rope, and then on that calf pedal, hopefully you can see me on the top of your screen there, just kind of going back and forth, stretching the calf out. If you prefer a standing calf stretch, that's okay too. And then another 30 seconds of jump rope. Then looking at 10-inch berm push-ups. I know last week, Monday, we had this in some accessory work. Really taking our time, reaching nice and tall, engaging those hamstrings. This should look like a power clean position there. Here. Walk that out. You get a push-up in. I want 10 of those. 30 seconds of jump rope. And then 10 each, so 20 here. And then 10 each, 20 total here. So hopefully we're getting our heart rate up a little bit with that. After that, I want us to find a timer, look at a phone, a watch, whatever it may be, but not just rely on our own counting of Mississippis and seconds. And we're holding it to the bottom of a squat position, chest up, knees out, hips below your knee, and we're holding here for a minute. Now, holding here, not holding here. I'm in a squat position, but I would never squat like this. I want us to get in that position as if we had a bar here, dumbbells here, and hold that in the bottom of a squat for 1 minute. I know we don't have a lot of weight on, even if we're doing the cleans with the barbell, those are just gonna be power cleans. We're not going all the way down, but I think it's a really good gauge if, as we start coming back, how much weight we should really be putting on our backs, putting in a front rack in a full depth squat if we aren't able to hold our own body weight there for a little bit. So just kind of something to keep in mind as we start, hopefully looking forward to getting everyone back in the gym soon, is little things like that, that 1 minute squat hold that can really help gauge maybe where we're at with mobility, with strength, some of that. All right, and then for our clean warm-up, pretty normal warm-up there. We're looking at 10 goblet squats. If you have a lighter weight, ideally that's a lighter weight than what your workout weight is. If you don't have some heavier weights, period, if you have, like for me, I have these like 8-pound dumbbells, probably wouldn't be using 8 pounds in really any workout. So rather than me holding a single 8-pound, I can hold those in a double front rack here and just get some front squats in there. And then 10 deadlift, 10 hang muscle clean. So for those who are looking at going above the knee, and as we go through that second pull, we're not landing in any sort of squat. So we're just going straight up there. Then 10 hang power clean, and then 10 power clean from the ground. I'll just kind of go through this warm up super fast. So for me, I have double front rack. If you have a kettlebell, that would kind of be up in this position here. If you're not doing a goblet hold, barbell front squat. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 10. Back in this position here. 1, 2, 3, 10. And then that hang from the knee. Now notice that I am shrugging and getting underneath. If in the workout you find yourself curling, just focus on that shrug and drop. So that was the hang muscle clean, and then the hang power clean, and then the power clean from the ground. One hand of the dumbbell, one hand of the dumbbell. When we do this, make sure the dumbbell is not too far in front. I want that right underneath our shoulders. I'm going there. If you have questions on anything, like I said, reach out. Otherwise, I'll upload this and we'll call it a day. All right, take care.